So hi, I am Bridget from Cowgirlblues in Cape Town, South Africa. We're a small hand-dyeing yarn business, and I'm going to start by showing you a little video and then taking you through some slides and pictures to show you a bit about the business. And I've got lots of yarns with me here and lots of samples, as you can see, and I will take you through all of those as well. If you have just joined us and if you'd like some information afterwards, please send me a private message in the chat with your email address, because I have an email ready to go with links to all of the samples and the patterns and things that I'm going to show you today, and links to information on how to buy on our website if you need any easy click-throughs for that. So just pop a message into the chat. And I'm going to start by sharing my screen and taking you to the video. Hello and welcome to Cowgirlblues. My name is Bridget Henderson and I live in Cape Town in South Africa, where our business is based. The Cowgirlblues name was inspired by this photograph and the Tom Robbins book, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. We have amazing merino wool in South Africa, and we're also the biggest producer of mohair in the world. It seemed like a no-brainer to me that instead of exporting all the raw wool, we should be able to add more value to it locally and then export it, so I decided to give it a try. As I started working with wool and crafting again, I discovered that I really loved playing with colour and that my colours uplifted and inspired people, and it's all unfolded from there. We've grown to a team of 11 women, and Cowgirlblues really is a team effort.
Hi, I'm Cynthia. I'm working in Cowgirlblues. I'm winding wool to crochet and knitting.
Hi, my name is Lucisa. I'm the head dyer. I did this one. This one is in sweet dreams. It's nice. You must buy more.
Hi, I'm Elmarie. I manage the online shop and I'm looking forward to receiving all your orders. So buy lots.
We're looking forward to showing you our yarns, colours and projects, so sit back and enjoy the show. Okay, so that's a little intro to meet some of my team, and I'm going to just quickly look in the questions here. So Aline, you're saying, will I be participating in Vogue Live in September? Well, I'm not entirely sure what, do you mean the virtual knitting live? Because they sent us an email asking if we want to sign up, and I'm very keen to do that. I've gone and looked ahead at the dates for September, October, and hopefully they'll go through into November. I was scheduled to participate in the live show in San Francisco in October, but obviously that's been cancelled for the year, and they are talking about a January show in New York. So I'm not entirely sure whether that's going to go ahead or not. Yeah, it's also quite difficult to organize from here at the moment because our borders are closed, so there are no international flights going except for repatriation flights, which are only one way. And so, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to go about doing that, but when I saw the note about the New York show being scheduled, I will get in touch with Beth next week and find out whether there are spaces available for that and whether I could actually come to a live show, because that would be amazing to do, and it was my plan, which is how I ended up on the virtual knitting platform. So yes, hopefully I will at some point get to meet some of you face to face, even if it is with a face mask on. So, so you've met a couple of my team members and seen a little bit about us, and I'm going to take you through some slides and show you some of our yarns. So, this is not looking like I thought it was going to look. So somehow we're at the end here. Sorry, I have to stop that there and just give me a sec while I get this back where I need it to be. There we go. And now I can share it with you. So let's get that going. This technology has been quite a process of adjusting to to this new world. So here is a little picture of Cape Town for you. That's Table Mountain on the left-hand side and then Lion's Head on the right. And I walk in this area a lot with my dog, Mira, who is a Siberian Husky and might wander in to say hello at some point. And I live in the City Bowl, sort of just to the left of the picture there. And the environment influences the business a lot. Certainly in the colors that we dye, the light is very bright and clear here, and I think that gives a lightness to the colors that we dye, and also to the color palette. And a lot of the color palette is inspired by the flora of the Cape, from the walks and things that I do around the mountains in the city. And then there's my team. We're all women. We have tried hiring a man, and that didn't turn out so well. So I work with women. It's a very important part of what we're about at Cowgirlblues. So South Africa has a horrible history of apartheid and legislated discrimination, and that's had lasting impacts on our social economics, on education for people. And so empowering women through work is a huge part of what we do. And most of the women who work for us were unemployed when they came to Cowgirlblues. A lot of them are South African, but Makai is from Zimbabwe, Sarah is Congolese. So we have a mix of different people, and that's an important part of life in South Africa as well. I mentioned in the video that we work with mohair and merino yarns, and they're all sourced locally. South Africa is the world's biggest producer of mohair. We produce more than 50% of the world's supply. And it all happened by accident when some female mohair Angora goats were sent by a sultan in Turkey in the 1800s. And he didn't know that one of them was pregnant because he didn't want anyone outside of Turkey with breeding herds. But the goats landed here, they liked the climate, and one thing led to another, and now we have a big industry with very good quality yarns. So we are all about color, and the color palette has 30 semi-solid colors. You can go onto our website and download a color card document if you'd like to have that to hand. And the colors change kind of once a year. I tend to try and keep the color palette stable in between that annual change, and have been playing around with variations and things in the multicolors with some of our color fade sets. But our 30 semi-solid colors kind of cover the range of greens and blues and yellows and pinks and reds and things. And then we have 10 standard multicolors for the year, and I'm going to take you through some swatches so that you can see how those different yarns knit up, and I'll show you some skeins of them and some different projects. And then I play around with color fade sets and things to just experiment a bit around the standard color palette. We've got 6 yarn bases. 3 of them are 100% merino. The first is this one here, the lace single. The solid colors are available in 50-gram balls and the multicolors in 100-gram skeins. And they're about 300 meters to 50 grams or 600 meters to 100 grams. The next weight up is the merino twist, and that's also in 50-gram balls and 100-gram skeins, about 150 meters to a 50-gram ball. And this one is the equivalent of about a sock weight or a 4-ply weight. I think you might call it a sport weight in North America. All of the colors are available in all of the different yarn bases. So next up, we've got indigo and, not indigo, merino DK. And this color here is indigo that you can see on the screen. And the DK is a standard double knitting yarn, approximately 170 meters in 100 grams. And in the DK, we do 100-gram skeins in both the solids and the multicolors. Then we have 3 mohair yarn bases. The kid silk is a very popular one. It's 70% kid mohair and 30% silk. And the solid colors come in 25-gram balls of about 205 meters, and the multicolors in 50-gram skeins of about 400 meters in a 50-gram skein. When you're ordering from us online, you can always leave a note if you would like us to wind the skeins into balls for you. We're very happy to do that before we ship. So just ask and we can do that for you. Then the next of our mohair bases is the Aran single, and this is a single yarn, also in 100 gram skeins of solids and multicolors, and it's about 120 meters in 100 grams. And then the last one is the fluffy mohair, and this one is also 100 gram skeins, about 200 meters to 100 grams, a sort of double knitting-ish weight, because it very much depends on how you want to use it as to the gauge that you would knit it up in. I've got some pictures here of each of the individual multicolors, and I'll go through them quickly and then I'll stop and show you the actual skeins and I'll show you the swatch cards. So we've got some bright colors like this one, the Cape Carnival, with a lot of different colors into one skein on a natural base. Tambourine Man is more muted, not so much color on the natural background. And you can see in the picture there on the kid silk as well, and the swatch is in kid silk, which is quite loosely knit, so the color there is quite subtle. Sweet Dreams, different tones of colors here, a little bit of mustard and chili pepper, some Camps Bay, celadon, so sort of blues and bluey reddy mustardy background there. Under Pressure is a beautiful neutral with a little bit of zing from the carrot juice that has a sort of orangey rusty tone to it there. If you're into blues, then 9 to 5 is mostly blue with a little bit of green and some little specks of browny orangey colors in there. Karma Chameleon, very much on the greens. True Colors is more yellowy tone. In the pinks and a little bit of pink, purple, red, Happy Days. Full on reds and pinks is Tainted Love. And then my gorgeous, but what can I make? And I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to stop the screen share here and just take you through the individual colors. So just pop a message into the chat if you want me to slow down or stop at any point if you've got questions. I'm just going to pull my swatches a little closer. So I'm going to start just by taking you through the individual yarn bases. So this is the merino lace single, and you can see in the 50 gram ball over there. And I'll show you. So here it is in a multicolor skein. Then the merino twist, also in a 50 gram ball. You get an idea of the yarn there. And then here you can see it in a 100 gram skein in the multicolors. The DK is a 4-ply yarn, double knitting weight. This is indigo. And to give you an idea of the multicolors, that's 9 to 5. And then in the mohairs, I have lost my, sorry, I managed to hide my, oh, there we go. So that is the kid silk in the mohair. And to give you an idea of it in the multicolor. And here I've got the Aran single. This is terracotta. This is an 80% wool, 20% mohair blend. You can get an idea of it in a multicolor as well. And then last but not least, the fluffy mohair. So as people have asked me the difference in weight between the fluffy and the kid silk, and if I hold them both around my finger there, you get an idea of how much thicker the fluffy is than the kid silk. So for anyone who's joined since I started, if you put your email address and a private message to me in the chat, I will send you an email afterwards with all of the projects and links to patterns and things. We do have a coupon code. It is VKL August, and that will get you 10% off the yarns, and we will donate another 10% to Ladles of Love. Peggy said that your challenge is you buy the yarn but you don't know what to knit. So I'm going to show you some projects, and increasingly I am looking at patterns and things. I was looking at patterns for someone who sent me a question about what could she make with the fluffy, and I'll show you one of them that I now have an idea that I want to knit up a sample of it. But yes, I've got some projects to show you and to give you some ideas, and it's certainly something that if there is a particular yarn you want to work with, I'm very happy to have a little look and see what can I suggest for you. So we will look at some projects. And then someone also asked, what was the red color? Was this the one that you were asking about? That one is called Tainted Love, and I will come back to it in I will go through each of the multicolors now. I'll show you the swatches and the individual yarns. So I am going to start with those, and the first one I'm going to show you, I'm just working through the top of my my stack of swatches here. So this one is called Signs of Spring. You can see how it knits there in the DK and in the lace. And then I'm going to show you the actual yarn. So there are some skeins of the yarn. This one is in the Aran single, and here it is in the kid silk. And then I also had it in the fluffy mohair. So it's greens with this little splash of pink and red. And to give you an idea of how the yarns combine, we have been playing with swatches. So all of these are Signs of Spring in kid silk, knit on different colors of lace single. So starting at the top here with natural, and then here with celadon, here with olive, and here with hot pink. So you get an idea of how it tones with a different solid color in the background. And because this is lace single, obviously it would be different if it were merino twist, which is a heavier weight, will then give the solid color more weight against the kid silk, which is a finer yarn, whereas with the lace single and the kid silk, they're fairly similar thickness. So that one's called Signs of Spring. Next up on my stack, I have 9 to 5, and 9 to 5 is blues. So I'm going to put those up there for you to see. And what we're in the process of doing is just writing all of the color elements into the descriptions on the website. So that'll get finished next week, so that if you want to pair it with a solid, you can see what the elements are. And here are some examples of the actual skein. So here it is in merino DK, and then the other skein is the kid silk. Oh yes, the multicolor shawl. We'll be coming to that. No, I haven't skipped. Oh, I have actually. So I'm going to show you a couple of projects as I go along. And for Signs of Spring, here you can see it. This is actually a baby blanket, not a shawl. But you can see the green and pink combination works really well. We've worked up, this kit is called the Beehive Baby Blanket. And if I bring it a little closer, you can see along the edge here how that Signs of Spring knits in, and then it's got a little bobble stitch thing, and it just pairs with all of these different tones of reds and pinks. So that's the Beehive Baby Blanket, and it comes in 3 different colorways. It was created for my very cute little 2-month-old niece. I haven't got a project in the 9 to 5, but I will take you through some of the other ones as we go along. So the next one here is, oh, hang on, some little swatches for 9 to 5. So here you can see the 9 to 5, again in kid silk knit against the lace, in natural with the celadon, with the guinea fowl, and here with the terracotta. And just how those different color backgrounds really change the experience of the blue yarn, depending on which color you're pairing it with. So we've had quite a lot of fun playing with the swatches, and now I've got to take some of those color inspirations and actually work them into a few patterns. So next up, I'm going to show you, yes, so someone said, are we knitting 2 different yarns together? Yes, it's the kid silk and the lace single are knit together in these swatches, in the small swatches over here. Yes, Carol, sorry, I haven't replied to your email, but we're definitely going to talk about that today, because I've got an example of the holiday slipover. So yes, I'm going to show you a picture, show you a sample, and then we can talk about the yarn weights. So this is True Colors, and let me show you the skeins at the same time. So there you can see the skeins and the swatch. True Colors, we will talk about the sweater I'm wearing with this one right now. Here you can see it mixed with some pinks, so faded rose and plum. And I just really like how colors change depending on what you mix them with. So this has really inspired me to do some striping projects with some of the different multicolors. Yeah, so you'll be seeing all sorts of interesting things coming with that. And then here you can see the True Colors, and it's knit with different solid colors. So here on the natural, here on sable, no, sage. Sage? Yes, it is sage. It is greeny. It doesn't look so greeny on the screen. Here it's knit with faded rose, a little more pink, and here with lemon. And I love this one with the lemon because the lemon's quite a bright sort of acidy yellow, but the combination with the True Colors really tones it a little. And so then someone asked about the sweater I'm wearing. So this one is called, I'm going to put the name in here. This one is called the Le Pouf cardigan, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry that was designed by Beata Jezek from Hedgehog Fibers, and I knitted it as a fade. And so if I show you on my shoulder over here, I started with True Colors. It's a top-down knit, and I started with True Colors and mustard, and then I worked down into Sweet Dreams, and then into a Sweet Dreams that went a little bit wrong and was a little bit blue, a bluey green, and then into the Under Pressure, and back to combining it with the mustard and some solid. So you can see the back. The pattern is also available in a sweater, and our fade sets are actually ideal for this particular pattern. We do 600 gram skeins. I'm going to show you one that I've got here. Like that, where depending on the yarn quantity that you need, you could add an extra solid color or an extra multicolor. I used 650 grams, I think, for this one, which was the extra large. It's a little bit too big for me, but if it's great for just this kind of a relaxed fit, slouchy type cardigan, and it's an easy knit, yeah, and a free pattern. And then the other one I want to show you with the True Colors, I'm just going to bring it a little closer so you can get a good look. So this is our Joys of Spring shawl. We have a kit for this on the website, and it's the True Colors in Kid Silk, and then it's got a lace single in hot pink and lace single in sage. And I show you the shawl, yeah, so you can see it's a nice generous size shawl. It works really well as a wraparound. I don't know if any of you are fans of Outlander, but in Outlander, Claire Fraser always wears hers where she wraps them around and ties them at the back. And so this is quite nice you know, you've got plenty of space to be able to do that. So that's called the Joys of Spring Shawl. And we've got a couple of other color combinations that we've put together. So this was actually very similar to the original version that we knit with a yarn color that we don't do anymore. So we've worked up the swatch with Cama Chameleon, and it's Cama Chameleon combined with Rainforest and Wild and Orchid Blush. And then I've also done a color combination putting 95, so the blues, with celadon, I think, yeah, celadon and carrot juice. So that one is the Joys of Spring Shawl. There. Yes. The next color that I'm going to show you is Tainted Love. So someone asked about the Tainted Love colorway, so that's lots of reds and pinks. And I'm going to get the skeins to show you as well. So there are the skeins in the DK and the Aran single. And here you can see the swatches. These are all sort of pinky ready backgrounds. Well, the natural here, faded rose, what's this one? Silver Fox, which is our silvery gray, and then ruby grapefruit. So Sandy, you've asked, is it a blue red or an orange red? It's actually got elements of both reds in it. So I'm just going to pull the color card and show you. So if you look at our color card here, it has some of the chili pepper and masala, a bit of dusty rose, which is starting to get more blue, the hot pink, and then also comes towards lipstick and a little bit of ruby grapefruit. And it's got a little hint of aubergine, I think, in it. So it tends more towards bluey red, but if you wanted to combine it, you know, it's got a tiny little hint of mustard in it here and a bit of faded rose. But yeah, I mean, I would say probably it's more towards the bluey red shades. Someone has asked about purchasing color cards, and yes, it is possible to purchase color cards. I don't think that we've loaded them on the website as a separate item yet, but just if you send an email to shopping@Cowgirlblues, then we can add that to your purchase afterwards, or just include it in a note that it's something that you're interested in. And for Tainted Love, I'm going to show you this, which is our pinstripe scarf kit. And I'm just going to hold it up so you can get an idea of the color there. It's knit in lace single, and there are 6 sections of different colors against the Tainted Love, the red background. So to give you an idea, I don't know that it shows up that well on the screen, but this stripe is actually a pale blue color. And then here you can see it, and there it is with an orange. So it does lean more towards the blue tones. And this, the pinstripe scarf kit is available on the website. This is our new colorway for this one. It's very light, that you can use it as a wrap, or if you're in a colder climate, it's got plenty of length that you can do a couple of turns and put it into a scarf. And this is our new colorway. We did originally do it in Silver Fox with different color stripes on it. And the kit comes with 150 grams of the background color and then 6 10-gram balls for the different stripe sections. So you could always change the background color. You know, you'd get the same many balls, but change the background color if that was something you wanted to do. We're very open to people customizing things, because I know that that certainly is how I roll. I tend to take an idea and then want to make it my own. So if that's you, we don't mind, and we can work with that. So that is Tainted Love. Next, I am going to show you Come a Chameleon. So this is a green, and I'm going to show you, oops, a couple of skeins as well. So here you can see it in lace single and in kid silk. And I'm just going to look, I think I've got some, this cards have got a bit mixed up here, but I can't see. I think with this one I've got another swatch of it paired with something else. Yes, so there you can see it with the aubergine and campus bay. Just gives you an idea of some of the color elements and how they can be accentuated by a stripe in a different color. And yes, that is Come a Chameleon. Okay, next I can see Sweet Dreams. So Sweet Dreams is the one that Pussy was dyeing in our little video clip, and that's what the skeins look like. So a little bit of red and blue and yellow, and there you can see the knit swatch. And I think with this one I have got some little swatches knit up. Yes, so here you can see again, this is the lace and the kid silk with different color backgrounds. So the natural, chili pepper, celadon, and carrot juice. And for this one, I've also got, it's one of my favorite swatches. Here you can see it with the celadon and with the chili pepper, that it gives you an idea of those color elements. Okay, so that is Sweet Dreams. Next up, I have got Tambourine Man. So Tambourine Man, this swatch is quite subtle. You can see a little bit more of the color in the kid silk swatch, even though it's quite loosely knit. And here is one skein of this here. So this is the DK in the Tambourine Man. I don't know if you can see some of those color elements. And here's the Tambourine Man on a couple of different color backgrounds. So Rainforest, Natural, Hot Pink, and Air Force. And then Cape Carnival, one of our brights. Here you can see the Cape Carnival knit on different colors. Very interesting how different it is, how different your sense of the color is depending on what color background you pair it with. And Cape Carnival is the yarn in our I've Got Sunshine shawl. So this we do as a kit. Give you an idea of the shawl size. So it's a full width. You can see how the yarn knits there and picks up all of the different color stripes. And the kit comes with, it's approximately 200 grams of wool. So did I say 200 grams? 400 grams, 200 gram skeins of the Cape Carnival, and then mini balls of each of the solid colors to make up another 200 grams. Obviously starting with the biggest ball on the long edge over here, and then finishing up with just a small quantity there. Thank you very much, Jackie. I'm glad that you like them. So this is the I've Got Sunshine shawl kit. And that's Cape Carnival. Next I've got Happy Days, which is very bright and cheerful, and you get an idea of how it compares in the kid silk. And then on some different color backgrounds. So natural, aubergine, plum, and faded rose. And then I can show you those actual skeins. So here are some of the actual skeins from the twist to the Aran and the kid silk. Yes, so someone's asked if I can show the card of the Come a Chameleon again. Let me just find it here for you. I think it was this one. Yeah, so it's so this is Come a Chameleon in the middle, and then this one is Camps Bay, and this is Aubergine. And we only finished the swatches at the end of last week, so these will also get photographed and be pinned onto the different different color elements so that you can see them on the website as well. Okay, last but not least, Under Pressure. Carol, I know you've been waiting for this one. So this is a sort of very neutral, natural, and a charcoal grey shades with little pops of orange. You can see on the pearl side as well, but it's a lovely colorway. There are a couple of the actual skeins. And here I can show you how it combines with some of the other colors, and I really love how it just gives a little bit of life to some of the neutral colors. So here with the natural, with charcoal, with camel, and then also with carrot juice, which really tones down the very bright orange in the carrot juice, but just gives it a little bit of subtle color in there. So I've got a few other projects that I'm going to show you. Our kid silk cobweb shawl. I'm going to bring it a little closer so you can get an idea of the little tuck stitch here. And that we have a kit for this. It's 4 balls of different solid colors in the kid silk. And I'll give you an idea of sizing. You know, it's a nice size for a wrap, but you can also kind of scrunch it up and turn it into a scarf if you live in a colder environment. So it's a lovely way to knit the kid silk, and I really like knitting the kid silk on big needles. It gives a beautiful effect of the halo of the yarn. Then which other ones did I want to show you? Okay, a couple here that I've borrowed from friends who knit with our yarn. So this one is a lovely sweater called Clotilda by Knitting for Olive, and it's one that I am thinking I would actually really like to knit up in the fluffy mohair. Because it's quite, you can see here, she has held 3 yarns together. I think she's put the DK, the twist, and the kid silk together in that one to get the gauge. But I think that would look really pretty in the fluffy mohair, and it's about, it's a relatively big needle size, so I think it would be a good pattern for that. And this colorway is called Terracotta. This is another lovely knit. It's the Sunday Cardigan Mohair edition by Petite Knits, and it's knit in our kid silk. So I can bring it a little closer so you can get a view of the yarn. It's a couple of strands held together. I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3. I think it's 3. And I'll put the link. The link is in my email. So if you haven't already put your email into the chat, you're welcome to send me a private message with your email address, and I can include you on that mail. So you've asked this, so I'm not sure if you mean this one or the one before. So this is the Sunday sweater, no, Sunday Cardigan Mohair edition. Edition by Petite Knits. And then the one before that was Clotilda by Knitting for Olive. And then Carol, you are interested in the holiday sweater. So this is it. I don't know which size Catherine knitted. So she is definitely smaller than me. And the one thing I found when I tried this on, I was worried about the sort of measurement and that the sleeves are quite scoopy. But I imagine that it's something you can, Petite Knits does most of hers is top down. And so I imagine that's something, provided you've got the chest measurement right when you start, that you can decide how long you want the armholes. And you're obviously going to be able to try that on as you knit it. And then obviously how long you want the finished piece, because this length, it's definitely a bit short for me and it's certainly too narrow here. But I like the shape and the fit. And this one, I think, is 2 strands of DK and 1 of kid silk held together. So you could knit this with, I think that you could just do it straight with the fluffy mohair. You could also do it with, like she's done it with the DK and the kid silk. If you didn't want the fluff, you could take the kid silk out. So this is also Petite Knits, that pattern. Then I've got one example in the fluffy mohair to show you. This was a test knit that I did. It is a project called Veer. Let me just put this in here. Send this to everyone. So as I said, I'm not very good at following instructions. So while I did test the pattern, I also very much made it my own with the way I combined the yarns. Hers was knit in a solid color and I used the multicolor. And then she had all of these, veer means feather in Dutch. So these are little feather details. And she had them in different colors, but it just felt a little bit wasteful in yarn that you would buy a whole ball of yarn just to use a few meters for a couple of these. So I put mine all together. I did them all in the Aran single, in the mustard, and then because I had a yarn left over, I put the cuffs in as well. And I love this. I love this sweater. It's very relaxed fit. It's lovely and warm. It's light, and yeah, it's interesting too. So so this is a favorite of mine. Someone has asked, do I have suggestions when you have to rip out knitting with the mohair? Yeah, I do. So what I always suggest is, people say put it in a bag and put it in the freezer, because firstly that cools the knitting down and it contracts a little bit so it doesn't hold on too tightly. And then the other thing is to keep it loose when you're pulling it out. So as soon as you pull too tight and the stitches tighten up, you can't get anything undone. So whether you're trying to undo kid silk or the fluffy mohair, just keeping your knitting very loose and relaxed and trying to keep the tension in the gauge in the knitting as you're taking undone, and keep a darning needle with you, because you'll get little, because it's a brushed yarn, you'll get little sort of balls of fluff where it holds, the yarns hold onto each other, and you need to break those open occasionally. And so I use a darning needle for that you can just, when it's caught on itself, you can break open those little snags. Antoinette has asked, what colorway did I use in my Veer sweater? So this was one of our last year's colors called Writing in the Sand. We can still dye it to order, and then I paired it with mustard in the Aran. I think that this would be a beautiful sweater also to knit in the under pressure. This combination over here would be a lovely one for this pattern. I've got one other that I want to show you, and I have to be back in one sec while I just fetch the original. So this is definitely my all-time favorite sweater. or jersey, as I would call it. And this is a pattern called Reagan by Isabel Kramer. And I don't get any special favors from any of the designers. These are just things that I like to knit. So this pattern is called Reagan by Isabel Kramer, and it's a cardigan. You can see it's knit in a flat panel along the back, and then you pick up the stitches around the neck. And you can wear it in two directions. So either that way, which is always how I wear it, or this way, which is always how my mum wears it. And mine is knit in lace single and kid silk held double. So any of those color swatches that I showed you, like this, would be a great way. This would be a great pattern for using the yarn. We've also done it in kid silk, and I have actually not quite finished, but sort of almost finished, a version using one of our lace color fade sets. So here it is in the lace. So it's 2 strands of lace held together, and you can see the color. So this is the actual fade set that I used for this one. Let me just hold it up for you. That's the yarn color combination I used, and I think that it was these 2 together and those 2 together, but I will put together a blog post for that. And so we have got a color sets in the lace on the website, and that's what this one is here. So someone's asked about the terracotta sweater. That one is called Clotilda by Knitting for Olive. Yes. So technically we are about 4 minutes away from the end of my official session. So I don't know if there are any other questions, things I haven't covered, things people want me to go back and look at, then please just put some questions in the chat, and I'm very happy to do that. And if you would like to have a chat with me, you are very welcome to unmute and do that too. But yes, very open to questions. The name of the sweater that I'm wearing, this one is Reagan by Isabel Kramer. Oops. No. And I will send an email afterwards. So if you haven't put your email address in and you would like me to include you on that, then please just send me a private message with your email address. So someone's asked, how long does it take to get yarn from us in the US? If we have the yarn in stock, then it'll ship immediately. So if you order today, it'll ship tomorrow. And then it takes about 5 to 7 days to get to the US. So you'd get it in about a week. If we need to dye it, then we are dyeing to order we're dyeing every day. And it'll go straight into the dyeing process. And if it was dyed tomorrow, then it would be washed and dried by Wednesday or Thursday. Just we're in winter, so it takes a couple of days here at the moment, and then shipped by Friday or Monday at the latest. So the longest you would wait for it to ship is a week, and then 5 to 6 days shipping. So it could take 2 weeks if we had to dye it to order. We do recommend that if you're ordering a sweater quantity of yarn, that we dye a batch for you. Obviously, because they're hand-dyed yarns, there is variation between colorways, so or between batches, and so we prefer to do that for a sweater, unless obviously you're doing something like a fade or something like that, and then we do have sets available on the website. But otherwise, you can mix and match and put things together. So there may be people who don't have. What was I going to say now? I've completely lost my train of thought there. Okay, sorry about that. Someone has asked the fluffies, but you don't do sweaters due to lack of time. Any suggestion for shawls or cowls? So I haven't got any suggestions off the top of my head, but I'm just going to make a little note for myself here. Shawls or cowls in the fluffy. One thing that you could look at is if you go into the blog section on our website and scroll through, there are some patterns and projects there. And one of them is, I think it's called Astrid, top down. Fluffy. Oops, sorry, I've sent that in a private message and I should have sent a message to everyone. Sorry, I'm going to put that back there. It's effectively the start of a sweater, just knit from the top down over the shoulders and then leaving the armholes to come through. So it doesn't have sleeves or anything. It's a relatively quick knit. It's not top down, so you could do it, so you can get the sizing as you want it for the shoulders and as long as you want. So that's something that you can have a look at, but I'll also have a look and see what else I can find in some looser gauge knits for the fluffy that I think would be good, and I'll add them in. Someone has asked, one of the first combos I showed was blue or green multi mohair combined with a solid. So Susie, can I just ask, was that a yarn that I showed or a swatch that you were looking at? I'm just going to go back through the swatch cards here and see what I can find. It could have been the 9 to 5, I think. Let me just get that. So could it have been this one? So that is 9 to 5. Is this the right swatch? The one that you were thinking of?
No, it was it had four swatches on it, not
a little one like
yes. That? It might have been. It might have been. It was one of the very first ones that you showed.
So this is one of the first ones that I showed. Then I had this one with pinks.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So that one is Signs of Spring.
And what's the one in the top right corner?
Is that your top right corner, or is this your?
No, it's that one.
And this one, the background color is Celadon. So if I put it up there.
And what is the background? Oh, and the other one is with natural. Okay.
This one is with natural. So it's the lace single and the kid silk. The multicolor is in the kid silk and the solid color is in the lace single.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then someone asked, did I show an indigo? Yes, I did. I shall find it for you. So that's the indigo in the DK. Yeah.
Do you have patterns that you suggest for the indigo DK also, or no?
Not specifically for the indigo. For the DK, I'm also just going to have a little think for some pattern suggestions. What are you thinking? Sweater, cowl, shawl?
Cowl or sweater, maybe.
Okay. I'll have a think about that and have a little browse on Ravelry and see what I can find. I mean,
what's the yardage? What's the yardage on the?
It's about 100. It's about 170 meters in 100 grams. So this is, I mean, it's heavier than just a single strand of DK, but you could put 2 strands of DK together or something like that. But it depends on what kind of weight you're looking for. If you're thinking specifically DK on its own, then this is not the. This is not the right.
No, that's good. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Oh, something sparkly has caught your eye. I'm very excited to hear that. Yeah, so if you've got other questions, you can always drop us an email, and the code is good until next weekend, so we can certainly help with questions as you're trying to figure out projects and things. Yeah. Ah. Oh, the one that I just showed, that one is Clotilde by Knitting for Olive. Let me just put that in there. So thank you very much. I'm glad that you have enjoyed the presentation today. Please go into your event hub and take the survey and give me some feedback, because that's always helpful. And if you have any comments or suggestions, you're very welcome to send those through. It's always good. You know, I don't live in the US, although I've been there a couple of times, and it's, you know, it's different all over, but I'm slowly starting to get an idea of things people are interested in. But if there's anything that we can do, then that would be great to get the feedback. So someone has asked what yarn was used in this sweater. So I didn't actually knit this one, a friend of mine did. And I'm just going to hold it up there. I am pretty sure that she used 3 strands together. So the DK, the merino twist, and the kid silk. Yeah, it's a lovely pattern. A friend of mine popped by this afternoon and saw everything hanging on the rail here and was like, oh, I need to look at those. And she tried this one on and it really looked so beautiful on her. So I'm definitely going to be heading off to get that pattern and knit up one of these and just play with which different yarns it could be knit in, because I think it would be quite lovely to see it knit in the fluffy mohair, where you know a slightly looser tension would be interesting. Thanks very much, Joanne. I'm glad that you found it inspiring. Could I try on the multicolor scarf? Yes, of course. Which is the multicolor scarf that you are talking about? This one? Is this the one you want me to try on? Jennifer? I'm going to try it on in case it is this one. So I'm going to put it on and get an idea of the size there. You can wrap it around that way. No, the plain rectangle with squares of color. Is that this one? Plain rectangle.
Yes.
Yes, that one. Okay. Yes, so this one is big enough as a wrap. You could, just to give you an idea of length, I think it's always helpful. So, you know, you can wear it wrapped around that way.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Or into a tight knit there.
And which yarn was that?
This one is the mohair silk, kid silk, and it's quite a loose gauge knit with this little tuck stitch detail knit into it, which is not terribly complicated. And there is a kit on the website. It is called the Kid Silk Cobweb Scarf. Oops. Did I send that to the right person? I don't know, so I'm going to send it again. And it is available on the website as a knit kit, and you can just select your color combination, because it's 4 balls of different colors. Although obviously if you wanted it longer or wider, you could add in another color to get that extra length. Oh. Okay.
So I'm still on the holiday slipover.
Yes.
I would combine the Aran weight with the kid silk.
Yes.
And I'm looking at extra inches in the bust.
Yes.
For a little ease, but I would probably tighten up on the armhole. At any rate, should 3 scans of Aran and 2 of the kid silk held together, one strand Aran, one strand kid silk. I think I need about, according to this, it looks like 300, wow, 100, there's that 500 yards. Does that sound right?
500.
Of the Aran, I'll just,
just give me 2 secs. I'm just going to look at the, I just want to double check the
pattern itself is very confusing because there are 5 different yarn suggestions.
Okay.
So, I'm looking at the Alpaca 3 by Isager, which is a 50-gram
so I'm going
skein,
to
137 yards. And that's held together with a silk mohair.
So I am just looking up the I'm looking up the pattern.
I don't know why she made it so hard.
Because I just want to get an I want to have a look and just see what she says. So she says 300 to 600 meters, which is quite a broad range. I think what I would do is, have you bought the pattern yet? Because if you've bought the pattern, then we can have a look at what the meterage is for the size you want to knit. Because
I have the pattern and I'm looking at the size, and I'm trying to figure out the yarns that are given and see what's closest to Cowgirlblues yarns.
Okay.
So I think the one that's closest here is the Alpaca 3 by Isager.
Okay.
Is the closest to your Aran.
Okay.
And the silk mohair I can't even pronounce, Sandnesgam.
I wouldn't worry about the silk mohair because you'll have plenty of meterage in the silk mohair. It's if you get the Aran meterage right.
So the Aran meterage, it looks like 300 grams, which would be at 50, is that 1,500? No, that can't be right.
No.
306 times like 800 yards.
Well,
or should I
that sounds like quite a lot, because on her pattern, I mean, I haven't got the actual pattern, but it says 300 to 600 meters depending on the sizing. So it says the most meterage you need is 600. But it is confusing with the different yarn.
Mine's right in the middle.
I tell you what, do you want to email me the pattern to have a look at, and then we can look at the.
I'll do that, and then
I'll just have a look at the actual sizing and things that you want to work it on.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll help you figure it out.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, Cindy.
Hi, Bridget. I was hoping you might still be hanging out.
Yes, I am still hanging out. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's very, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, right?
Yeah.
Our climate is usually the easiest in the world, but
Yes.
it's like Texas or the Midwest right now. There were lightning and thunderstorms during the night, which in summer is very odd here. And it's very, very muggy and it's hot. It's like, I don't know, 88 degrees. It's just very weird.
That is very strange. I think the worldwide weather is a bit screwed up at the moment.
Yeah, it's to be expected, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm so glad you're still here, because if you have a little time, I have some questions for you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm very happy.
Okay, so